Russia joined forces to attack and surround the city of Chasiv Yar. Russian officials announced that Ukrainian soldiers lost their ability to resist and retreated from Rabatino. Unusual move of the Russian Black Sea Fleet after Crimea was attacked. Ukraine wants the Patriot missile defense complex series to be eliminated by Israel. Russia joined forces to attack and surround the city of Chasiv Yar. Russia is deploying forces to try to surround the city of Chasiv Yar, while Ukraine is still waiting for aid from the U.S. The U.S.-based Institute for the Study of War, ISW, assessed how the Russian army approached the city of Chasiv Yar. Accordingly, Moscow could attack from north of Avdiivka in Donetsk to surround the strategic settlement. Capturing Chasiv Yar would allow Russian forces to control higher ground and target cities further west. In April, Ukraine's military commander, General Alexander Syrsky, said Russia wanted to control Chasiv Yar before Victory Day on May 9. According to Ukrainian officials, Russian forces are expected to double their attacks to capture the city by the above date. Chasiv Yar is located in the Donbas industrial zone, which includes Donetsk and Lugansk oblasts. The city is located on hills that serve as natural defenses. Chasiv Yar would open up a position for Russian forces to launch offensive operations against Drushkivka and Kostiantynivka, which form the fortress belt of the cities of Kostiantynivka, Kramatorsk and Sloviansk in Donetsk. ISW said on April 30 that for the first time in several days, Russian forces failed to make any progress in the area around Avdiivka, which was controlled by Moscow in February after fierce fighting. The Ukrainian General Staff said Kiev's forces repelled 47 Russian attacks in the Avdiivka direction and 57 attacks in the Bakhmut direction, a figure much higher than the attacks in the Chasiv Yar direction. It may indicate that Russian forces are somewhat slowing down the pace of attack around Avdiivka while attacking around Chasiv Yar, the Ukrainian General Staff added. The Ukrainian army used Chasiv Yar as an assembly center and fire support base. The city plays a particularly important role in supporting Ukrainian troops in Bakhmut, a city that Russia declared control of in May 2023 after the bloodiest 10-month battle of the Ukrainian conflict. Russian forces are taking advantage of Ukraine's lack of manpower and ammunition, while Kyiv waits for a $61 billion military aid package recently approved by the United States. I hope we receive artillery shells soon, Ola Shiriev, commander of Ukraine's 225th Independent Assault Battalion fighting near Chasiv Yar, told Reuters, describing his unit as being nearly overwhelmed. Russian drones attack continuously. Retired Australian Major General Mick Ryan predicts the coming months will show whether Ukraine can accept some of Russia's tactical advances while still preventing them from controlling the entire Donbas region, including the Donetsk and Donetsk provinces. Luhansk or not. The current battlefield situation is very bad but not dire for Ukraine, Mr. Ryan commented, and said that in case Russia attacks strongly before U.S. military aid is delivered, it is possible there is a possibility of significant surprises from both sides in the coming weeks. Russian officials announced that Ukrainian soldiers lost their ability to resist and retreated from Rabatino. Russian officials say Ukrainian forces have lost their ability to defend and are withdrawing from Rabatino, the village Kyiv captured in a counteroffensive last summer. The main events on the Zaporizhzhia front are taking place in the direction of Orkhov, especially in the area of the village of Rabatino. Organized resistance has disappeared, the surviving Ukrainian soldiers are retreating. Russian soldiers are stationed. Flags at the northern edge of Rabatino show that units are present everywhere in the village, Vladimir Rogov, an official of Zaporizhzhia province appointed by Russia, said on May 1. Russian officials said there was much evidence that Ukrainian soldiers withdrew from the village, emphasizing that no houses remained intact and that it was difficult to reinforce the defense point at Rabatino. It can be said that Russia has regained control of Rabatino, but basically the village is still in a gray zone. It would be foolish to station troops there, because the locations are easy to attack. We need to push the enemy further away from the village, Mr. Rogov said. The Russian Ministry of Defense and the Ukrainian army have not commented on the information. Russian media previously released videos showing airstrikes and helicopters swarming near Rabatino, while artillery and tanks fiercely bombarded Ukrainian forces' bases in the village. Moscow announced at the end of February that it had begun advancing into Rabatino village, saying that Kyiv sent reinforcements from many other directions to recapture lost positions, but was unsuccessful. The strategic village of Rabatino, located in Zaporizhia province, is one of the targets that Ukraine plans to regain on the first day of launching a large-scale counterattack campaign in early June 2023. However, Kyiv's forces only entered the village nearly 3 months later and suffered heavy losses. Unusual move of the Russian Black Sea Fleet after Crimea was attacked. Ukraine said Russia currently has no warships deployed in the Black Sea, after Moscow accused Kyiv of attacking Crimea with missiles provided by the U.S. The Ukrainian Navy announced that the Ukrainian military did not detect any Russian warships in the Black Sea and Sea of Azov on the morning of May 1. In the Black and Azov Seas, enemy ships are missing, the Ukrainian Navy's media service said. Recent satellite images shared by open-source intelligence researchers M.T. Anderson of Osand appear to show that the Black Sea Fleet has largely abandoned key naval bases in Crimea. In March, Ukrainian Navy spokesman Dmytro Pletenchuk said, Kyiv's ultimate goal is to completely repel Russian military ships in the Azov and Black Sea regions. The announcement by the Ukrainian Navy came shortly after Vladimir Rogov, chairman of the We Stand With Russia movement, a pro-Russian group operating in the Moscow-controlled Zaporizhia region, as well as military bloggers Russia, said Ukraine fired the Army tactical missile system, ATACMS, into Crimea from the Kherson region in southern Ukraine on the night of April 29. Russian media reported that Ukraine launched ATACMS missiles at the Crimean Peninsula, where the Black Sea Fleet is headquartered, to destroy Russia's air defense capabilities there. Meanwhile, Crimean government head Sergei Aksyonov also said that Russia's air defense system shot down ATACMS missiles in the Crimean Peninsula. Ukraine first received medium-range ATACMS missiles last September. However, Russian troops quickly began shooting them down, thwarting Kyiv's plans to destroy or damage the Crimean bridge connecting the peninsula to the Russian mainland. Recently, an anonymous senior U.S. official said that Washington secretly sent Ukraine an unknown number of ATACMS. This is part of the $300 million aid package that U.S. President Joe Biden approved on March 12. Russia's Black Sea Fleet has suffered heavy losses from Ukrainian raids since the conflict began in February 2022. British Defence Minister Grant Shapps said in December last year that Russia had lost 20% of the Black Sea Fleet in the previous 4 months, and declared that Russia's dominance in the Black Sea is being challenged. Ukraine wants the Patriot missile defense complex series to be eliminated by Israel. After Israel announced its decision to eliminate the US-made Patriot air defense system, the Ukrainian side made a sound move to receive these shields. Earlier this week, the Israel Defense Forces (IDF) announced that the country would gradually phase out Patriot surface-to-air missile systems in favor of more modern domestic air defense systems such as Iron Dome and David's Sling, Arrow. Times of Israel said Israel's Patriot systems will be phased out within the next 2 months. It is unclear what will happen to these systems. The IDF declined to comment in detail on future plans related to Patriot. Oleksandr Merezhko, chairman of the Ukrainian Parliament's Foreign Affairs Committee, said, "It would be logical if Israel gave us its Patriot system, because it would help us destroy Iranian drones, used by Russia. We are happy to receive any weapons that can help us protect our cities and intercept Russian missiles and drones," he added. Previously, Russia and Iran repeatedly denied accusations from the West that Moscow used Tehran's UAVs in the war in Ukraine. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said his country needs at least 7 more Patriot systems, or other equivalent systems, to protect cities and frontline positions from missile attacks, almost constant Russian drones and glide bombs. President Zelensky said Ukraine needs 25 such complexes to protect the entire country. Ivan Stupuk, a former officer of the Security Service of Ukraine, SBU, and advisor to the Committee on Security, National Defense and Intelligence of the Ukrainian Parliament, said, "We really need the Patriot system to stop the planes. Russian fighters equipped with glide bombs stay away from the city of Kharkov." It is unclear whether Kyiv has negotiated with the US or Israel about receiving these systems. Israel is still maintaining a neutral stance in the Russia-Ukraine war. In 2022, Vice Chairman of the Russian Security Council Dmitry Medvedev on October 17 warned Israel of the risk of broken relations if Tel Aviv provided weapons to Ukraine. In April last year, Ukraine received its first two Patriot systems from the US and Germany. In October of the same year, Germany pledged to provide another Patriot system to assist Ukraine in dealing with an increase in Russian attacks during the winter months. In April this year, Germany announced that it would provide Ukraine with another Patriot complex. Patriot is a multi-purpose long-range air defense missile system, with a range of 70 to 160 kilometers, capable of operating in all weather conditions. Patriot is capable of intercepting a variety of targets from the air, including fighter aircraft, ballistic missiles, and cruise missiles.